excited. As you know, every week I love to bring you information that's going to help you make good decisions. Find a way to make someone else smile. I am Jennifer Abbott. Hello. We're here at the water's edge, and I'm so excited as we've started the Jennifer J. Hammond podcast. We're here, and I'm here with my friend Ben. I'm so excited because Ben has a huge heart, and he's so passionate about helping others, and he does it in many different ways. One of them is actually real estate, and specifically in an area that a lot of people don't work in. So I'm so excited. So first of all, welcome, Ben.
Thank you. And this is the most amazing virtual background I've ever seen.
Exactly.
So we're here, we're really actually in a hotel room in Puerto Rico, in Dorado, and this is all virtual background. I'm using my phone to play the ocean sounds. No, not really. This is all real. This is amazing. So
Yes.
Thank you. Great to talk to you.
I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm so excited because this is just the starting off of the launch of my podcast. So it's so fun. I give me goosebumps to think about. This is the beginning. It's going to be so fun to go back and listen to this one. But I know you also have such a great story. I mean, you were sharing with me today about surviving cancer, and that's such a profound thing because every single one of us has someone. My mother died of cancer. I mean, I know so many people that never do actually make it out and survive it. So we talk about a little bit about overcoming those struggles and what that's been like for you and why getting into real estate.
So I'll use this as a platform just to get everybody aware of if you see any weird moles on your skin or anything else,
Right.
You need to make sure you have them checked. 10 years ago, I think I was shaving the back of my neck and looking in a mirror, and I'm like, that's a weird mole on the back. I went and had it cut off, and it was it was pretty deep. It had gone like stage 2, stage 3 melanoma. They cut a big chunk out of my back. They took some stuff out of my lymph nodes to see where it traveled. It had gone to this lymph node. They cut some more out, and fortunately, it was gone. They cut it out. I did interferon treatments, which is kind of like chemo. It doesn't make you sick. It makes you feel like you have the flu, kind of just tired, which actually my wife loved because I'm totally hyper, and she's like, I like this. Can we get some of this interferon treatment stuff? So instead of running around and working in the yard or doing something for 8 hours, it would be like for 45 minutes, and then we'd sit on the couch and watch movies on Saturday. So I try to bring that awareness. I use sunscreen. I use sun shirts. Always wear hats out. Just more aware of that. I did an event at a co-working space that I own in an old post office, and we did cancer awareness, and we brought people through for free screenings, and they came through on a Saturday, and we ended up picking up like 3 people that actually had and got early detection. So I know I wouldn't be alive if I hadn't caught it because it had already gone to my lymph nodes. So I just would use it to encourage people to hey, take it seriously. It's more than just a little slough of skin. And once it starts getting in your body, then you're finished because there's no fixing it. It has to be cut out.
Yeah. And I think it's really important to know that, number one, that, again, being aware, it's almost like everything in life. The more awareness, you're paying attention to what's happening. Yeah. And that's so true also with real estate. I know that, we always have changes in the year of 2020 with all of the things that have happened with the coronavirus and so much. I know that also when people are starting to either age in place or decide on what their next step is for real estate investing or where are they going to live, and that's a transition that is very emotional and very tough for people. And I'm curious on why you decided to do real estate and specifically in the space that you're in.
So it's interesting because I've been doing real estate for over 10 years, flipping properties. I have a portfolio of rental properties with a partner, love it, passionate. I'm really more of I did interior design in college, and they really just weren't quite there with the computers and the software yet. So it's like I was tired of being in the basement drawing. So I think it's just really me being an interior design junkie to be able to get my fix to rehab properties and beautification because I tend to always overspend and I'm always like making it beautiful. But it's interesting. My mother was always in the senior care market, and I knew about it, but it just was always on the fringe. It's like you never think too much about what your parents do besides, so for 40 years, she was in the senior space. And I got connected with a guy, Philip Vincent, who had been in the senior space doing real estate. And we came together to create a company to help seniors and their families as they're transitioning into senior care. So typically you have an adult child that's in their 60s,
Yeah.
and they're moving a loved one into senior care. So this is like a really stressful crisis time.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you don't move somebody that's healthy into senior care, and you don't take a healthy mom. Let's go tour some long-term care communities,
Right.
because this is where I'm going to put you when you can't take care of yourself. So
Exactly.
so you've got this time that happens that somebody's typically in their late 50s, 60s. They're putting somebody that's their parent in the senior care, and it's totally, totally stressful.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I feel guilty. Nobody's prepared for it. Nobody's prepared for it at all. The only thing that there's some preparation is that you do get some people that do planning financially by having a long-term care insurance policy, but that in itself is a challenge. So the neat thing is that we get to help all these families in the most stressful time in their life to solve the biggest problem. And that problem is that typically dad has passed away, men die first, women live longer. So
Yes.
mom is stuck with the house. She's not done anything to it for 8 years, and it's filled with stuff. It's got all the stuff in the basement, all these collections, just all this crap everywhere, right? And so now the family's to deal with, what are we going to do with a house that's 2,500 square feet, that's filled with stuff, and we're moving mom into a 2,000 square foot room,
And
200 square foot
And
room.
then because I've been in real estate myself so long, I know that that's an emotional stuff. It's not just stuff. This is like sentimental
It's a lifetime
stuff.
of memories.
It's
It's
like-
all the crap that we think's important,
Right,
that we've been
exactly.
collecting. It's shot glasses from Puerto Rico. Yes. That you like, what are we going to do with this? I'm going to throw in the trash.
Exactly.
And the kids don't care about it. The kids don't
Yeah.
care about the china. They don't care about the antiques. They want to buy stuff at IKEA. They want to buy other stuff.
Right.
So it's like they don't care about any of it. So we teach people all over the country how to go take care of these families in a very sensitive way and create relationships in the senior industry in their local markets to be able to help these families at this time of need. And so these people that we teach have the ability to come buy a house, pay cash for it, and take all the stuff and not worry about it. And there's no rehab. Here's what the problem is that the world has told us that we have to fix our house up and sell it on the MLS. And people don't think there's any other options. And so we're disrupting that market and giving people options that's easier. They end up at the same place. By the time you rehab it and pay all the fees and the month-to-month and commissions and all these things, you end up at the same price as working with an investor that knows what they're doing, that can come in and buy it in a few weeks for cash, and you don't have to deal with anything. And I don't know about you, but my parents one of them lives 500 miles away from me, and the other one lives 800 miles away, and that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
So that's part of the stressor too. And then there's the guilt. It's like you need to be focusing on taking care of your family, not worrying about what am I going to do with all this stuff in the house and all these things.
Yeah. And that emotional side but it's the house, it's where people grew up, or and there's just so much emotion tied to
There
it.
is.
And I think that that's one of the things is when you said earlier, options. That, as we've seen in the year 2020, there's been an amazing amount of changes in so many things, and it's okay to embrace the change. And I think that unfortunately sometimes when we've lived in a house for a very long time and we're trying to help our parents, there's so much emotion tied to it, and it's change. And it's like, is change safe? Because we've had so much change that we didn't agree to.
Oh my God, the coronavirus. So that's created a whole other level of complexity with this too, because think about a senior and we're worried about their health, right?
Right.
And so now what? We're going to come in and bring in 3 bids in 10 different areas of the house to fix it up. And you got people coming in and out. And the real estate market's hot right now, right? So you're like, why wouldn't I list it? Well, you might want to list it, but it's not your only option. But if you decide you're going to fix it up, guess what? The good contractors were taken, the bad ones are there. So there's overages, they don't show up. And now you're bringing contractors in and out. You've got mom living there.
Right.
And then also now you're doing, we need to do photos. We need to do showings.
Yeah.
We need to do all this. And so what really happens is there's this critical point in time when you're going to move a senior into care,
Right.
that the longer they stay in their house, the greater the chance that they have an accident and fall. And there's this crazy stat, and don't hold me to this because it's not perfect, but what they say, those people say that when somebody has a fall, that a lot of times it's it could be only 6 months before they die.
Yeah.
So people moving into long-term care typically only are there for 2.5 years.
Right.
And so this was a really nice opportunity this is the most impactful thing I've ever worked on, because I get to help these families, and we get to help people that need care because they need it now. And I get to dial in my experience of being an entrepreneur, and it's in the real estate investment space. And we're teaching hundreds and hundreds of people to do this, which means we're packing thousands of families.
So you're also, just to kind of define this a little bit, we're sitting here and it's so funny. We are on the water's edge. That's the reason you hear all
actually,
this
that's
now.
my helicopter.
And I was going to say, and there's
You're
a
gonna have to wrap it
helicopter
up.
coming.
I'm over here.
So now we have a helicopter
one
going
time.
overhead, which is actually making it even funnier. It might actually be
there
shot.
they
Look,
are.
you
That's
can
right
see
there.
it in the
See
video.
Right there.
So, as you said, you also are doing a kind of train the trainer, right? So you're training people to do this.
Yes.
So it's not just you.
No, it's not. It's not me. It's really, we're training hundreds of people to teach them how to do this. And we're not teaching them how to do real estate transactions. We're teaching them to say, you really need to understand what's happening with the family, because this is not your typical real estate deal.
Yeah.
It's a great deal. It's a motivated deal. But to teach them, one, the industry. So in that 2-day class, we're teaching them all the sensitivity for the family. It's totally emotional. You want to see a group go into a long-term care community, because we do a field trip. This is pre-corona. We haven't done that in 6 months in any of our classes, but we walk in and all the women in the class are like, oh my gosh, sweetie, to all the old people, and all the men were up against the wall and are like, what's that smell? What's that smell? But we come out of that and then we dissect it, because we go from long-term care and then we go up to the memory care unit, which is, why is the elevator locked? These people are locked. They're locked here because they might wander down the street because of memory issues. So it's really an infusion or indoctrination into the senior market and what's going on at that exact time. So as we teach hundreds of people, they'll work with 50, 100 families plus a year. So we see this as, once we have that number up to 700 or 800 certified people and have coverage across the United States, now you're talking about what an impact that we're making with all these families. And this opportunity at Mom's House is just evolving into other things.
Right.
Really, before I met Philip, I'm a partner in a long-term care insurance advocacy. So it's more about being an advocate for the seniors. These big companies sold policies for people to get long-term care insurance, and 2/3 of them went out of business because they missed the mark on what it was going to cost, how many people would use it. Now, they're all still covered because the stuff goes into receivership and states do it and all these things, but it kind of started between that and my mother and the real estate piece, and so it's just like I'm in the most meaningful time in my life right now.
And it's so exciting because, like I said, you train the trainer. You're training other people to do this, and you're doing. And then one thing I've realized, especially in this year of all this change and such, is how do you find a way that you can do good in the world, that you can create amazing impacts and still be able to live the lifestyle, like, with your helicopter, or being on the water's edge, or travel wherever you are. But I think it's just so important to be able to do good in the world and help other people. But
I've built so many businesses, built them, sold them, built them, kept them, and I've never been in a position to be so heart-driven in anything. When you're doing real estate, it's fun.
Yeah.
You're flipping properties, you're making money, it's great. The community buying group was something I built. It was a big network of 15,000 real estate investors and getting buying leverage, and we were helping people save money, but you never got to see what they did with the money. You talk about, like, the money's the feature, the benefit is what you do with it.
Yeah.
I like to travel.
Yeah.
I like to travel. That's one of the things I love to do, right? Make sure I get paid for my kids to go to college and make sure they come out debt-free so they get a good head start. Those are the things that those are my drivers. I don't live a really fancy life.
Yep.
Hell, I don't even have a house. I don't have a house. I rent.
You rent.
I rent from myself in a commercial building that we own, but I'm still a renter. But I don't have a home. I'm homeless.
You're homeless.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways that you can structure things, and that's, I think, also part of that entrepreneur mindset. So we will definitely do another show.
Oh, I'd love to.
And I would love to have you back and talk about.
Can we do it here?
Yes. Can we do it on the water's edge again? We'll do it. We'll definitely be back, and we'll definitely do more of this. But I wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to meet Ben and hear about amazing stuff that he's doing in the senior living area, and know that this is an area that anyone can work in, and you can really change people's lives and change a community, a whole neighborhood.
It's there's 10,000 people a day turning 65. 10,000. There's 15,000 turning 75. This is the biggest market and the biggest opportunity from a real estate investment space. And if you love helping people, it's like, ooh, I get to make money and I get to make an impact.
Yeah.
And it's such a great thing. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we'll see you
Bye.
guys next time. Bye-bye.